103. Let's get into it, boys and girls. If you are one of those people that's reading this title and you're wondering what's going on, let me just ask the question out loud. What has history taught you? Appreciate you. What has history taught you, y'all? The reason why I'm asking that question is because we all know that history tends to repeat itself a lot. And being that history tends to repeat itself, we all know firsthand, if we look at history and we start to capitalize on the things that life has taught us, we really can win in real life. I was looking at, what's up, family? I was looking at this different business that me and my wife just started. And as we were breaking everything down that we needed to break down in order to move forward with this 10th business, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This stuff's starting to become very, very easy. And what's up, family? And the reason why I'm saying it's becoming very easy, I'm not saying it from a place of being braggadocious, not at all. I'm saying it from a place of, as you do things and you get experience with those things, it becomes easier and easier to accomplish the things that you're trying to accomplish. That's why it's so important to start, because the reality of it is, if you're having a hard time stepping out doing what you really want to do, the very first difficult thing you're going to have to do is start, right? Once you have started something a bunch of times, starting is going to be the easiest thing. Then it's going to be about, hey, how am I executing on this plan that I have in place? But once you have executed a couple of times, it's going to start to get easier, y'all. This stuff is not that complicated. So going back to the title, what has history taught you? I'm going to look at it through a lens of, if you go all the way back to them king and queen days, what did you have? You had some kings, and then the average person was considered what? A peasant, maybe, or some servant to some degree. Think about that for a second. So if you were born in that time and you wasn't born up under a kingdom, if you were born in that time and you were born up under a kingdom, the chances of you getting out of your situation was slim to none. Think about that for a second. I don't know if people really understand what I just said, so I'm gonna say it one more time. Back in those times, if you wasn't born a prince or a princess, and you was a servant, a peasant, whatever, the chances of you getting out of that situation was slim to none. Y'all, I'm gonna be honest with you. We have seen over the last 4 years probably one of the biggest transfer of wealth we've ever gonna see in our lifetime, y'all. Maybe our grandkids or our great grandkids might see another transfer of wealth at some period of time, but I don't think we're gonna see another a huge transformation of wealth, y'all. I just don't think we're gonna be able to do that. I just don't think so. So what I'm saying is simply this: for those people that are still like procrastinating by taking steps, that door is gonna close. I'm gonna say it again. For those people that are procrastinating about taking steps, to get out of your own way, forget the rat race, to get out of your own way, that door is going to close. What do I mean by when I say that door is going to close? I mean simply, if you're not putting yourself in a position to get wealthy in a short period of time, you're not going to have an opportunity to. Just looking at how everything is playing out right now, I'm going to be honest with y'all, that door to opportunity is going to close. There are so many moving parts that are happening right now, and we still got people playing. I mean, people playing left and right. And I don't understand why they don't see the writing on the wall. Look, we've seen this movie before. Most of you all are history buffs. We've seen this movie before. I saw something. I don't know how true it is. I haven't dug into it yet. I had somebody send me something. I want to say it was Tony on one of the platforms. I'm not sure what platform he sent it to me on. Where they're talking about passing. What's up, family? Passing a bill that would only allow for American citizens to work 32 hours on a job a week. Now, I don't know how real that is. I got to dig into it somehow. Because, you know, on social media, it be all type of stuff that be popping up, and it be fake news. So I got to do some more digging into it. But imagine that for a second. In the short term, people will be happy because they don't have to work 5 days a week. They'll only have to work 4 days. Well, you lose that 8 hours, you lose the 8 hours of pay. What does that mean? These companies are going to have to hire more people, right? You might have to go out and get you a part-time job. You might have to go and get that business popping off. Think about that for a second. I want y'all to really put this in perspective. The cost of living ain't going down, y'all. It's going up. What does that mean? Well, the people that really got wealth, when inflation hits the way I think it's going to really skyrocket over the next few years, guess what that means? Those people ain't going to be in trouble. It just means the things that they own, the value of it's going up. Your money that you have in your hand that you've been holding on to, saving for a rainy day, is going to depreciate even more. It says 40 hours. I don't know. I got to do my research. It said 32. They didn't say 4 days a week. It said 32 hours. So I was like, what do you mean? Make that make sense. The other thing I got to thinking about is for people that are going to put themselves in a position, right, to where they have seen some form of wealth and they have wealth, we as a people are going to have to do something different. Because what does that mean if people aren't making money? What does that mean? It means that crime is going to go through the roof. It means, we're going to talk about that, family. It means that the poverty rates are going to be unreal, y'all. That you heard on the news outlet too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm like. This stuff is unreal, y'all. So what I'm saying is, if you are procrastinating, trying to figure out what it is you need to do or why you need to do what you need to do, but you scared, this stuff should really scare you right now. It should scare the living daylights out of you. Imagine a person that has some form of wealth and they see this stuff transpiring, right? They get to look at a map and they get to say, all right, when all this stuff transpires, I know the crime rates are going to go up in these places. It is what it is because that's where the majority of people are at. They get to look at a map, spend it, and say, where's the best and the safest place for me to go? They're not going to stop having wealth because you and other people that you know, family members, friends, are experiencing poverty. They still don't have wealth. They're going to look at the safest place to land and they just going to go. So when everything go to haywires, they're going to be in a safe place. Imagine that. I know I used to have people on my live all the time when I was talking about this last year around, they would keep saying to me, the rich is going to be taken over by the other 99% of the people. And I'm like, it's no such thing as rich, y'all. Well, the wealthy people are going to be overturned by the 99% of the people. Wow, you're not even going to see them. You're never going to see them. There's never going to be a reason for you to even be in any close proximity to anybody that has some form of wealth. And that's the truth. What am I saying, y'all? If we're looking at history, and we know his story repeats itself all the time, what moves do you know you need to make? What moves do you really know you need to make? I had this young man tell me, man, I ain't gonna buy no land right now, man, because what if something happened to our country where this thing just go up in flames? I'm like, if it goes up in flames, then if you're here, you're gone. What's up, family? You're done. That just is what it is. Everybody's like, hey, I need to go here. Hey, I need to go there. No, you don't. The reality of it, good people, is this. No matter where you at, you're in the same position. You got people in other countries talking about coming here. You got people in this country talking about going there. Make that make sense. Everybody got the same issues. It ain't gonna matter, y'all. It ain't gonna matter. You're gonna have to try to figure out how to land in a place where you can protect the people that you care about and love the most, and you can provide for them. You gotta really start living off of the land. Because the reality of it is, with all the different stuff that I'm seeing right now, I'm like, yo, this is unreal. And I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to prepare you. Because the reality of it is 99% of this planet ain't prepared. They say they are, but they not. They not. Could you go 2-3 weeks, a month? We getting by? Sure. Could you go with 6 months, we're getting by? Sure. Could you go 10 years? We're being self-sustainable? Could you go 100 years with being self-sustainable? This stuff getting real, y'all. This stuff is around, man. So what I've been looking at is, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I've been looking at more of, okay, how can I get more in front of the things that people gotta have? They gotta have a place to live. They gotta be able to get food. They gotta be able to get water, and they gotta have clothes on their back. So for me, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. People been telling me you should invest your money in Bitcoin. It's going to $1 million. It's cute. People been telling me to invest in all type of stuff. Invest in the tech world. Look, I'm investing my money into things that I know 100% for a fact that people gotta have. They gotta have a place to live. They gotta be able to eat. They gotta have some form of water. And they gotta have clothes on their back. Why am I investing in those things? Because I know it's going to sell itself. That's what I know. No matter how many history lessons you need over 100, 200, 300 years, no matter how far down the line you want to go, those four things every generation had. They had to have it. It just is what it is. If I'm looking in the future, those four things your kids gonna need, your grandkids gonna need it, your great grandkids gonna need it, your great 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 grandkids gonna need this stuff, y'all. You can't get away from it. So while everybody invests their money in all these other things, go get your bag and bring it to the people that own those four things. Go get all the money you want to go get, no matter which type of currency it is, to give your money to the people that owns those four things. If you own those four things, you're putting yourself and your bloodline in a position where they can start really feeling the wealth that you actually building in real life. And I'm not going to say this out loud. A lot of people ain't going to feel this. A lot of people ain't going to see it. So you're going to have to remember, right? You're going to have to remember that most people are going to hear this and say, I can do this. You're not going to be able to, everybody ain't going to do it, y'all. It just ain't going to happen. Right now in 2024, where everyone is sitting at right now, March the 24th, 2024. Let me say this, y'all. Here's what has to happen. This is me being honest, right? You got to really figure out right now today how to get out there and get this wealth so you can start making the moves you need to make. And this is probably one of the easiest time on this planet to do it. There are so many things out here right now that you can go and build some form of, I ain't gonna call it wealth, but build a little bit of money to build the stuff that you need to build to put you and your bloodline in position. It ain't even funny, y'all. It's just not. It's just not. You can make all the excuses you want to make. You can go into every debate that you want to have with people on what's better, what's not better. None of this stuff matters, y'all. None of it matters. Congrats, family. None of this stuff matters. No matter if you're looking at getting you possibly an island, which that's something that's on our list this year. We got to go look at a couple of more islands this year because that's not completely off the list yet. When we went out to Turks and Cakes last November, and we realized that they survive off of the import system. Oh my goodness. Because they can't grow nothing out there on that rock. It kind of made me think a little bit different. It's good when people are traveling and doing all other stuff, but if things shut down, it can be a wrap. One of the things that we learned while we was over there, one of the our driver was telling us during 2020 when we had that big old hit, right? They were like, hey, we almost didn't survive. And that was literally when everything was shut down, maybe what, a couple months? So that's something to think about. Invest in the auto dealership. I mean, if you know the business well enough, 100%. Listen, however you go out to get your money, go get it. As long as it's legal, go get it. Because the real key right now is, and it's just how I'm looking at it, and maybe I'm looking at it a little bit different these days. So I could be off, right? I want to put my money into things that's not going to force me to take time away from the people that I say about or care about or love the most. Here's why you'll hear me say things like, if it's illegal, you don't want to do it. If it's legal, what's stopping you from doing it? And the reason why I'm saying that is because if it's illegal, that's going to take you away from the people that you say you care about and love the most. Because at some point, they're going to get you out of here. They going to get you out of here. And you don't want to play that game. It just, the juice ain't worth the squeeze, y'all. But if it's legal, ain't nothing stopping you from doing it. You understand what it is that you're doing. You've calculated the risk that you need to take to make these things happen. And it doesn't result in you taking time away from your family, your friends. What's stopping you? Go get it. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. What's up, fam? You just went on a contract on 11 acres? Shout out to you, family. Congrats. Congrats on them 11 acres. Do your due diligence, do your due diligence, do your due diligence. 100%. But congrats. But that's what this stuff is about, y'all. It's really just about putting yourself and your bloodline in the best position possible. That's what this stuff is about. Only thing that I have in my head stuck right now is back in the days when we had kings, y'all. I can't get that out of my head right now. Based off of the moving parts that I see right now, I can't get that out of my head. So I said to myself, I got to go ahead and establish my own kingdom. We're not talking about I own my house and I own a car. No. We got to establish a whole kingdom with servants. Now, I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds crazy. Can you run that by your own debt? Play you last week. I mean, you could if you wanted to. 100%. Listen, the reality of it is this. If you have capital right now to play with, then you got to make moves. It just is what it is, y'all. If you don't have capital, it's okay. You just got to start moving in the direction, and the little capital that you get from your paycheck, your business, whatever it is, you got to start putting these things into play, put your money out there that's going to get you that guaranteed return on investment. Once you get that guaranteed return on investment back, right? You know you got your insurance policy. You know you got land. You know you cover your basic living expenses. If you still have money left over after you've done those things, sure, invest your money into things that is going to get you a guarantee, not even get you a guaranteed return on investment, that's going to help you create more capital. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. The only difference is I do my stuff in a little bit of a reverse, right? So I do the process, right? Basic living expenses, that biggest whole life insurance policy I can afford, land. I do that regardless of the situation. We're about to have 10 different businesses. 10. We're working some stuff out, right? Those 10 different businesses, they all have their own thing they do. Some require that we buy a product. Some require that we do a lot of other different things too. But the difference is when those businesses, those 10, they have their business expenses so it can keep them in business and growing. Then it has taxes, because you ain't getting away from paying your taxes, y'all. Stop playing with them people. And then you have your money going into two places. A percentage going into your trust checking account so the trust can pay the trust bills because I ain't got none. And then the rest of the money is doing what? Buying land. This is how this stuff works, y'all. But that door is closing, y'all. That door is 100% without a doubt closing. Because you think about how much money been flowing through our economy over the last 4 years. Think about people that you know that then got what they claim to be rich. I'm just throwing stuff out there. Think about the people that was getting to a bag in 2021. They ain't no longer get to a bag no more. Now, we can say that was due to some of the stimulus checks. We can say that was due to some of the PPP loan stuff that was out there. We can say it was due to a lot of things, y'all. What did you see people doing with their money? And you ain't trying to watch nobody's pockets. That's not what I'm saying. But if you're observing what people were doing when they did come into money, guess what they did? They gave it right back to the people that were wealthy. They did everything in their power to get right back. And it didn't matter if you look like me or not. I've never seen so many people take so many trips in my life. I've never seen so many people go out and have, people having surgeries. People were just spending like it was the last good thing on everything. Balling. Go out to a restaurant. Your meal costs $200. You tipping them $100? Like you don't understand that how money works? Think about what I'm saying, y'all. All this stuff matters. All of it. So what am I saying? You got to think. You got to do some research, y'all. And then you got to take action. Because I'm telling you, and I don't know nothing. Ain't nobody told me nothing. This is just what I'm thinking. This is all in my head right now. I could be 100% wrong. But by 2030, that's when you're going to see people start panicking for real. By 2034, it's going to be game over. If you ain't made it to the position that you need to make it to in life to change your family bloodline, it's going to be rough, y'all. It's going to be rough. As a person that retired from Bank of America for the last, I worked there for 20 years as an executive without a college degree. And I'm telling you, as a person that retired from Bank of America, now I got time to really do a lot more thinking. This stuff, you can see it plain as day, y'all. You can see it plain as day. Like, I can't begin to tell y'all, like, don't nobody care if you make it. In fact, they hope you lose. I'm going to say that again. Don't nobody care if you make it. In fact, they hope you lose. This thing, how y'all hear me say, well, there's no such thing as poor. There's no such thing as middle class. There's no such thing as rich. Wealthy, we'll just use that as the word, even though I know it's not the word. There's only two things. America is still a young country, y'all. It's still a young country, if y'all ain't figured it out yet. If you look at all these other countries, you have only two groups. It just is what it is. Yeah. 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 They become dependents. That's 100% right. It's like a lot of people don't understand that. It's like you go into retirement, and let's just, man, I don't want to say this, but I think you bring up a good point. So I'm gonna have to say it. I did not want to say it, but I'm gonna have to. I was trying to avoid saying that, but I can't really avoid saying it. So let me say this. Right now, today, we got between all these platforms, we probably like 400 people between all the platforms today. Shout out to that, right? I like it when it be a smaller size group because we can kind of get into some stuff. But let's just do an exercise real quick. No matter which platform you on right now, put how many years you've been on your job. Put how many years you've been in business. How long have you been on your job? Or how many years have you been in your business? I want to see some. I'm going to show you in real time what I'm talking about. 6 years on your job? That's amazing, family. That's amazing. 10 years on your job? Dope. 18 years, 19 years? That's amazing. 10, 5 years, 3 years? Okay. All right. All right. How long you been retired? About to walk into it. Thank you, Miss, for that. 3 years? Watch this. Retired for 27 years, 2 years entrepreneur. So you got a business, a year. Okay. Watch this, y'all. Been on your job 23 years. And I'm gonna give Miss the credit for this because she the one that sparked it. I wasn't gonna say it. She sparked it. If you had to retire right now today, how much money do you have put away for retirement? It don't have to be the exact amount, ballpark. How much money do you have right now today? If you had to retire today, how much money do you have to have you in a position to where you retire? How much money? Is it $50? Is it $1,000,000? Is it $2? Is it zero? Not enough. Whatever it is, it ain't enough. Whatever it is, it ain't enough. Watch this, y'all. Watch this. Now, for those people that have put a dollar amount in the check, we had somebody that said they have about $150,000, which I think is dope, right? You don't have to say this in the check because I don't want to put this in perspective. Tell yourself, you know how much money you got saved for retirement. How much are your living expenses? Don't tell me, tell it to yourself. How much do you have? How much are your living expenses? So for the person that said they got 150 grand, is it costing you $50,000 to get to live off of it? Is it costing you 60? What's up, family? Is it costing you 100 a year? Take whatever that number is and divide it by how much money you have saved for your retirement. I want y'all to think about this. So basically, you got $150,000. It costs you 50 grand a year. You got 3 years to live. What you gonna do after the 3 years? What you gonna do after the 3 years? You gonna become a dependent? Your kids, shout out to Missy again for pointing it out. Are your kids gonna have to take care of you? And if your kids gonna have to take care of you, were you a good parent? Were you a good parent? Because that's the type of kid they're gonna be to you. And if the answer is yes, kudos. Ask yourself this question. Are your kids stronger than you? Are your kids going to be able to take care of you? Think about that for a second. Do your kids want you in their house? That you didn't lead them, by the way. Do your kids want you in their house? If you breathe too hard, are they going to kick you out? If you ain't got no kids, what you going to do? This is how you have to start looking at this stuff. And the reason why I'm saying it that way, shout out to Missy again for throwing it out there. I'm saying it this way because the reality of it is majority of the people work their whole entire life and then they retire. They try to figure out how to get some form of government assistance to help them, and they can't even afford their medicine. They can't even afford their medicine with a major discount. If the medicine costs you $500 a month to keep you going, you can't afford $500 and you done work your whole life. Think about that for a second. Think about what I'm saying. So you got to start making moves right now because the reality of it is, from what I'm seeing, when you look at things like AI, how AI is going to make a lot of people go unemployed. When you start to look at if they do cut the hours from 40 hours a week to 32 hours a week and they hire more people, the price that it would cost to hire you is going to be cheaper. So if you're on your job making $100,000 a year, and I gotta hire 2 of y'all so I can cover the whole week, then you, my friend, is getting $50,000 a year, and that other person getting $50,000 a year. I'm not paying both of y'all jokers. I'm gonna win. Why am I gonna win? I'm gonna win because I got people covering the whole shift. I got 2 for the price of 1. But I could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong. This is the reason why you hear me say things like, man, I ain't working. A lot of the reason why y'all haven't seen me going live in all these different places, y'all, because that was me going to do some work. I'm not working no more, y'all. I'm done. I'm done working. Period. I don't have no bills. And I'm not gonna say I don't have no bills. My bills are so minute, it don't even make no sense. I could realistically go out on the side of the street and ask for money without a product giving them, just begging for money for one day and pay all my bills. Because the reality of it is, I started to understand that it's not about going out making a bunch of money, y'all. That's not what it's about. It's about understanding what it is that you need. You need food, you need water, you need shelter, you need clothes on your back. I've been managing my weight, so I ain't got to buy no new clothes. And if new clothes come my way through a business, the business bought them clothes. I didn't buy them. I ain't going out having the most fanciest meals every single day. I can't afford it. Think about that. The business buy its employees food every single day. I'm an employee, I get a meal. I don't have a vehicle. I got a personal vehicle that I didn't have probably now for what? That personal vehicle that I got, I probably had that vehicle it's been since 2018, that vehicle. I done had that vehicle for, 2024? 6 years. That's my personal vehicle. The vehicles you see me riding around in, they're not my vehicles. Because I couldn't afford them if I wanted to. think. So you got to start making moves, period. And if you can't wrap your brain around that, then it's okay. We need you to. That's the truth. We need you to. You are the perfect candidate to be in a position of a consumer to assist all these wealthy people that don't got no money. Because you are the person that's going to keep those wealthy people on the map. Kings, peasants. Think about what I just said. Think about what I just said. Kings, queens, peasants. There's no in between, y'all. The quicker you wrap your brain around that, the quicker you'll understand that you don't have time to waste. And if you're thinking you're going to wait till the last minute to try to make a move, it's already becoming right now too late. It's already becoming too late. Let me go on and help you out, family. I don't want no smoke with you, man. Whatever you say, I'm with you. Cryptocurrency is the way. What's the Bitcoin dollar amount today? What is the price of Bitcoin right now? Family? Go on and share it with me. Because you keep telling me Bitcoin is the way. I get it. What's the price? I mean, you got to know the price, family, because you're telling me it's the way. And if you're telling me it's the way, why you don't know the price? Why do I say it's going to be too late? The wealth gap, that transfer of wealth, the biggest transfer that we've ever seen in our lifetime, is closing. It's closing. And being that it's closing, I don't know if my generation, the baby boomers are, slowly but surely, they putting up a fight, y'all. They've been putting up a fight. But I don't know that my generation, which is Generation X, right? I don't know if enough people that's in my generation is savvy enough to play the game. So what's happening is the baby boomers who are fighting, that has that wealth, and they're educating. They're not educating their Generation X people or their millennials. They're touching them Gen Zs and whatever the new one is, right? It just is what it is, y'all. Because they trying to make sure it's in their bloodline forever. The Generation X group been playing. And it just is what it is, y'all. I can't be mad about it, but that's the truth. You got the Generation X group right now that's like this young man that's going in on me right now telling me Bitcoin is the way and who don't even know what the price is. I guarantee you, without me even looking up, I guarantee you he in that Generational X group. He don't understand that Bitcoin is a product. A lot of people don't. So he's not alone. But that's the truth. That's the flat out truth. You look at the Generational X group, and I can't speak for women because I'm not a woman. I'll speak for men. I can't even speak for men because I'm not all men. But from the men that I've seen in this Generation X group, them cats ain't happy. Listen, they're not deadbeat dads. They not having kids. I'm gonna say this again. They not deadbeat dads. They not having kids. I'm gonna say that one more time. My peer group, that generational X group of people, those fellas, they not deadbeats, y'all. They not having kids, and they on the internet telling you why you are a horrible woman because you got a kid and you ain't with your baby daddy. But in the meantime, they saying they not getting married until they build some form of wealth because they build a generational wealth. Newsflash, you can't have generational wealth without a generation to leave it to. It's a part of the words. How you have generational wealth and you ain't got a generation to leave it to? Make it make sense, y'all. I could be wrong. I could be off the rockers, and that's okay. That's just what I see. So what am I saying? Y'all can keep falling for that nonsense. Y'all can keep playing the game how y'all playing the game. I'm telling you flat out, it's just me. It's in my head. I don't have no one has told me this. I've looked at some things in history. I've looked at some trends. But there's nothing that says exactly what I'm saying. But I'm telling you, by 2030, bold prediction here. That's just what it is. It's a bold prediction. If you ain't found a way to get out of your own way from a poverty perspective, you and your bloodline gonna be stuck. Because I ain't gonna see another way. Because people are really starting to pick up on this land thing for real. More than what most people know. People are really starting to pick up on this land thing more than people know. Now, how they get to this land thing it's all different. You got people playing the product game, the cryptocurrency. You got people playing the little small business. You got people playing all these different games, and that's cool. And they're gonna circle back to it. But in my mind, imagine you got a group of people out there like me that's buying land every single year, left and right. And you're saying to yourself, I ain't gonna buy land every year. I'm gonna wait for the next 10 years till I have money. I'm gonna buy one lump sum, and that's gonna be it, right? Imagine 10 years from now. That'll put us in 2034, right? You're approaching a person like me, right? And you're like, I know your property ain't for sale, but I was worried if you want to sell it. Guess what I'm gonna tell you? Boy, get off my land. You're trespassing. Get off of my land. And it won't even be me telling you that. It'll be an employee. I'm gonna say that again. It won't even be me telling you that. It'll be an employee that's meeting you at the front gate. No one hears this stuff. Imagine in 10 years, you go in this nice little community and you want to buy you a home over there to lead to your kids, and every home in that community is for lease. It's not for sale. Well, these are the nicest homes out here. I want to buy one of these properties. You can lease it. You won't be owning nothing. Even though they said, the economists, WEF, World Economist Forum, they never said in 2030 you will own nothing. They didn't make that statement, but their actions are showing it. Think about what I just said. Think about what I just said. These are things you're going to have to come to grips with. I know over in Turks and Caicos right now, shout out to, who was that? Iceman. I know you said you want to start that dealership. Make it happen. It'll be good money. But I got to put stuff in perspective. That 2023 Cadillac Escalade that we purchased back in 2022, when we was over in Turks and Caicos, our chauffeur, they had a fleet of Escalades. And he told me it cost them 3 times the amount of the Escalade, same one, not same one I got. It cost them 3 times the amount. So I did a little quick calculation. I said, okay, I spent 140 grand. Or the business spent 140 grand cash for it, right? You telling me this truck gonna cost almost $400,000? What? Said to get it over here. It's gonna cost almost 400 grand. Ain't no taxes though. You ain't gotta worry about no tax, but it's gonna cost you 400 grand to get that vehicle over here. You're in a better position of buying a vehicle in the States. And once you buy the vehicle in the States, having it shipped over, but it's gonna cost you a pretty penny to have it shipped. And if you finance it, you spending $500,000 for a vehicle. Ain't nobody over there financing. It's the worst decision you could ever make in your life. Do I think we would get to that place here in America? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. And that's the part where it becomes, hey, why are you making these moves? Right? Because if I look at it, I mean, we got probably about 9.5 years before we get the green light for our own city. If everything lined up the way we got it lined up, Gibson City will be in full effect. What does that mean? You're going to be able to come to Gibson City. You might not be able to buy land at that point 10 years from now. Will you be able to lease over there? But the person who get the opportunity to buy that land over there, they're going to be paying them taxes. Think about that for a second. They're going to be paying the taxes. And if they paying the taxes, they paying it to the county. Guess who getting the budget? The city. They paying their taxes. Guess who getting that budget? The city. Who owns the city? Gibson's. So when I pay my property taxes in Gibson City, I'll be paying property taxes to myself. I'll be paying property taxes to myself. Shout out to knowing a little bit of history, making this stuff do what it do. But no one hears this stuff because in their mind, they're in their own silo. And I'm just saying, what has his story taught you? What's up, family? I look at Miss E. R.I.P. to Miss E. She passed away, y'all. Out in Nebraska. Shout out to her. She got the smallest city in America. Shout out to Miss E, y'all. She was out there paying taxes to herself. Make this stuff make sense, y'all. Make it make sense to me. Because I believe when you know better, you do better. But that ain't really true. Because there's so many people that know better that don't do better. Why? They arrogant and they lazy. I'm not going to call nobody dumb or stupid because I don't really think that's what it is. Because anytime you ask somebody, hey, did you know this? They know everything. I don't think the intellect is the problem. I think it's arrogance and laziness. The reason why you can't get out of your own way because you're too arrogant or you're too lazy. That's the truth. Yeah, that's what I heard. I ain't even took the time to look it up because I don't really want to believe it. But I'm probably going to look it up today. It's a crazy thing, y'all. But what a wonderful time in life that we have the ability to look these things up and do our own research and figure all this stuff out. What a wonderful time in life it is to see that these things are possible. That these things are possible. This stuff is crazy, y'all. But the problem with that is, with all this information available to you, there's also a lot of misinformation. And the reason why I believe there's a lot of misinformation, they know people are too arrogant and lazy to take the extra step to figure out what's real. That's the truth. You'll have somebody beat me down about their way of generating wealth is better than anybody else way on this planet. Meanwhile, they dead poor. They in between blessings. They're in between blessings, y'all. They don't have a way of even paying their bills. But they telling you the best way to go out and generate money, and they ain't doing it themselves. That blows my mind, y'all. Ego. Then you got another group of people. They know what to do. They got all the education in the world, but they can't take the time to get up off of their butt and go do something. Laziness. Flat out. Watch this. I be in meetings and in circles, not all the time, but sometimes with people that, has had wealth in their family for hundreds of years. Right? Hundreds of years. And most of those people are nice people, y'all. But I'm going to be honest with you. If me, who hasn't had wealth in his family for over hundreds of years, not even tens and 20s of years, right? Me, if I can identify that people have egos and lazy, and that's the reason why they haven't made it, what you think these people look at you like? They're not saying y'all lazy. They're not saying y'all got an ego. They saying y'all dumb. Because the reality of it is, something has to be mentally wrong with you if you know what to do and you're not doing it to get out of your situation. Make that make sense? You telling me you know everything you need to do to win, and you telling me you're not doing none of it? I'm not in their position. And I can see that. I can see that 100%. That's just me. But hey, what do I know? What do I know? These are things that are just common sense, y'all. And being that they're common sense, make it make sense to yourself. What's holding you back for real? What's really holding you back for real? Still got some fears. Watch this. Because I know fear is a big one for folks, and we talked about fear. We know that fear controls wealth. We understand that, right? And being that we know that fear controls wealth, let's do this. How long do a person stay in fear, right, before they take action? How long does a person stay in fear before they take action? I want y'all to think about that for a second. Fear is a failure. But if you don't take the step, you already fail, right? But how long do you stay in fear before you take action? I want y'all to watch this for a second. So they get a change in the mind. Watch this. You can't break your fear because you're living off of a perception of what it is. Perception of failing. Perception of losing the material things that you have. Perception of not putting food on the table. Watch this. You can't get over fear until you start getting a perspective. Now, stay with me on this. When you try things, even though you're in fear, you get a perspective of what it really is. Here's why y'all hear me say things like, hey, if I'm scared, I'm doing it scared because I'm getting a perspective. My perspective is going to tell me how much fear I should really have. Let me give you an example. If I go outside and I'm afraid of heights. Now, I know that's not a real thing. If I go outside and I'm afraid of heights, I know it's not a real thing. I'm not afraid of heights. I'm afraid of falling. Watch this. If I jumped off of the curb the first time, well, I'm no longer afraid of that height anymore, of the curb height. If I jumped off a one-story building, or I decided I want to jump off a one-story building, I would be kind of afraid. Fear would kick in. The perception of me falling, hurt myself would be unreal. What would happen if I jumped off that one-story building and I didn't hurt myself? And I know I'm being extreme, but I'm being extreme for a reason. But I jumped off of that one-story building and I didn't hurt myself. My perception is going to change because now I have a perceptive. I can't even talk. I can put it in perspective of how much fear I should have. Watch this. 99.99% of the people on this planet. Oh, yeah. 99.99% of the people on this planet use their right brain. That's the emotional side of your brain. This is where all the perceptions come from. 0.01% of the people on this planet use their left brain. This is where the logic comes from. This is where you get your perspective from. Everybody on this planet have both sides, but most people use their right brain more than they left. You got to start doing these different things so you can start using more of your left brain. Why is that important? Why is that important? We're going to talk about that too. Why is that important? It's important because there's no right or wrong, y'all. There's no good and evil. These moral things that y'all talking about is irrelevant. It don't even matter. It's legal or illegal. If it's illegal, you don't want to do it. If it's legal, what's stopping you from doing it? What do I mean by that? Most people are looking to be motivated. Motivated. I can't even make it up. But what typically happens is people don't get motivated, they get manipulated. It's the same coin. So I tell people all the time, and I try to be straightforward with folks, if a person needs to be motivated, you should motivate them to get them to do what you need them to do. I'm going to say that again. If a person needs to be motivated to do whatever it is you need them to do, you should motivate them to do what you need them to do. If you need somebody to do something and you can't, I'm going to say this again. If you need somebody to do something and you can't motivate them, it's a green light to manipulate them. I'm going to say that again because I don't think people really understand, because they hear these words and for some people it's triggering, and it should be. If you are supposed to motivate someone to get them to do what you need them to do, you should absolutely motivate them. If you cannot motivate a person and you need them to do something, it's a green light for you to manipulate them. Just knowing that puts you ahead of the next 100 people. Why? Because you already understand when you're dealing with someone and they're trying to motivate you to do something, you know if they can't motivate you, their next course of action is to manipulate you. You know how to deal with it. This is the reason why when people DM me and they be like, hey, I want to partner with you and do this. I think I'll be able to bring this and this to the table. And then they tell me all this different stuff. Trying to motivate me to go into business with them. And I tell everybody the same thing. I only got one partner, my wife. Then they go to manipulate it. And when they go to manipulate it, I laugh at it because I can see it a mile away because I understand it better than most. Now, there's some people on the planet that understand it way better than me, and they're way better at it than I am. But the reality of it is, this is how life operates, y'all. You don't need a ton of capital to do all the things that you're trying to do. In fact, when you get money, it's somebody else's money anyway. I don't think y'all heard me. Every time you get your paycheck, it's somebody else's money anyway. You just holding on till the next person get it from you. No matter how much money you earn or how much money you make, it's somebody else's money anyway. Think about that for a second. Some of y'all got paid this last Friday. Uncle Sam had to get their money, his money, right? Your phone bill had to get their money, the car payments, the mortgage or the rent, your car insurance, your grocery bill. It's always somebody else's money, y'all. Why are you so focused on money? Money is not your issue. The focus that you put on money is absolutely hurting you, y'all. It's hurting you. So what am I saying? What has history taught you? Because it repeats itself. Thanks. To my people over here on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Riff, I'm going to end my live over here. Y'all can join the after party over here on IG or TikTok at Zabo103. This replay will be on YouTube as well, y'all, at Zabo103 on YouTube. Go over there, like, share, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Go blow that YouTube up. Y'all make that happen. But for my people that's on Riff, Rumble, Facebook, YouTube, y'all can join me at the after party on TikTok or IG, whichever one you feel comfortable with, at Zabo103. We gonna keep that party going, and that's just what we gonna do. Shout out to y'all. Y'all get y'all research in on all the information that you've heard today. And if it's something that applied to you, that's great. Apply it in your life. In the meantime, for the people over there, y'all be good or have fun being bad. Y'all can join me over there on the other platform. Peace out.